I'm Kareem Rae, your host at the One Soccer Nation podcast. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Hugh Roberts. Hugh, thank you so much for taking the time. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
My man, I appreciate you having me. I'm inspired by what you're doing. Hugh Roberts played professionally for 11 years, 10 years in the USL Championship, 1 in League One just this past year. From all over the place. I was born in Queens, New York, actually, but raised in the Washington, D.C. area. Went to Our Lady of the Council, went to George Mason University outside of Washington, D.C. too. Played all 4 years. I was actually a striker my whole life. Growing up, academy, everything was a nine. Recruited to George Mason, played as a nine. And after my sophomore year, they're like, we have no more center backs. Hugh, can you try being a center back? Happened to do well, a couple spring games against Georgetown, other teams, and they're like, all right, sophomore year, you're gonna play like a center back in a six, and then junior, senior year, I focus on strictly center back. Went to didn't get drafted or anything. Went to actually three open tryouts. My first one was in Rochester, with the Rochester Rhinos in New York. Went to their 3-day trial, got cut. Went to Harrisburg City Islanders, which was Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I was in Virginia. Commuted about 2.5 hours every week. Me and one of my teammates got cut after the 8th. I'm like, listen, I'm, coming from Virginia. This is too much. We're good. You should look elsewhere. So I'm like, all right, I got one last team, one last trial. This is while I'm in school too. Was with the Richmond Kickers. Went down there to their open trial. Every single USL team has an open trial to the public. Literally, just pay $150 kind of thing and go show up. And if you can do it, you can do it. So that's what I did. They invited me to their preseason camp for another 2 weeks. So not, I didn't get you don't get signed right away. They just invite you to camp, and you still got to go try out. Tried out. And after 2 weeks, they offered me, and it was still something like, oh, well, we don't have a lot of money. You should look elsewhere. And I was like, every team said they don't have money, and every team told me I should look elsewhere, man. So like, please tell me something. They're like, all right, we'll just offer you something. They actually offered me, and they offered me a salary at the time, which was key because back then, this is before the, minimum wage now, before the players union, all that, before the CBA. Where usually, if you're a guy my age as a rookie, you're on a pay-to-play contract, meaning you're only getting paid if you play in the games or if you play or you sit on the bench during the games. So thankfully, they offered me a salary, which means like they kind of like what they're seeing in my potential in the future. It was a 1 year guarantee, 2 year option guarantee. They picked up my option, so another 2 years was guaranteed. After the third year, I was fortunate to be first team all league with the USL. And I always wanted to get to the MLS, so I took the leap of faith after that. Went to the Philadelphia Union organization, and I told them the whole time, "You live and you learn these things, right?" Told them the whole time, like, "Listen, I don't want to sign with the USL team. I just want a trial with the MLS team. If I don't make it, I don't make it. I'll come with the USL team." They're like, "No, sign this USL contract first. We'll get you your trial. If it doesn't work, you have this." All right, fine, that's cool. I'm there from the first week of January, one of five guys training every day. They still don't invite me to preseason camp. So, with the steal, it was fine. But then one of the center backs got hurt and invited me over there. I actually did well for a week. They ended up not bringing me back again, keeping with the same guys. But this was a whole good experience. I met, Mark McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Brendan Aronson, guys on the U.S. men's national team right now that, I was able to help groom at the time I was 24. Left there, went to Pittsburgh, helped them make their first playoff appearance in their club history in 2018, which was cool. Got called right away, kind of thing, to go to Charlotte. And I'm sure you're wondering why people that listen, like, why am I transitioning from each club and bouncing to different cities? It's not something that I personally wanted to do. Yes, I wanted to go to Philly. I would have loved to stay there, but you live and you learn these situations. When I was in Pittsburgh after the year, they're like, "Well, Hugh, you're getting a little old. We're looking at younger center backs. Now I'm 25. We're getting a little older. We're looking elsewhere." I'm like, "All right, so I guess I'll leave." Philly, they gave me the option, do I want to stay here? But Philly, when you're 24 and you're 25, it's a young team with the two teams in the MLS next team. So you're on the older spectrum. So like, I'm take my chances. So Charlotte called me right away. I love Charlotte, love the city. I actually have a home here now. If I'm my wife, gonna do our thing down here too. I spent my first 3 years here, so 2019, 20, 21, even during COVID, I was here. Cool experiences, great times, great people, probably some of the best years of my career. Met guys like Gabriel Oberton and Christian Fuchs, Brant Bronico, guys on the MLS teams that played with us before Charlotte FC was here. I was fortunate to go to California, kind of took a leap of faith. And again, in the offseason, I'm not gonna lie to you, I never thought I was gonna go to the West Coast. I wanted to stay in the East Coast. I didn't want to leave my wife, then girlfriend at the time, and do long distance. But Independence was dropping to League One, and personally, I didn't want to play in League One yet. I was 29 at the time, and I still wanted to play in the championship. So took the leap of faith, went to California, played with Monterey Bay, and it was their inaugural years, 2022 and 2023. I was blessed to be the captain. That's not something they told me before. They didn't call me or anything after like maybe couple preseason practices after the first preseason game that Kelsey gave me the armband. I thought maybe it was a one game thing, and I kept it, for the 2 years. So it was a blessing. And from there, it was just a great experience. It was more than an armband. And obviously, it's inaugural year, so I helped the club get off the ground. I'm at town hall meetings, actually became real cool with the mayor. I spoke with the police department. That first year, I was doing something every week, but it was a great experience because at that time as well, to rewind a little bit, I founded my own company now, which we're going to talk about soon, just BackYard Footy in 2018. Company right here, Footy for the Culture is our slogan. But I found it at the time. So as I'm going to these different clubs, I'm learning different experiences. So now I'm connecting with the community in Monterey. They're actually liking my podcast more because they've never seen this from a player doing these things. And I bet I was doing this 2 years before, and it was a good reaction in Pittsburgh and Charlotte. But this community in Monterey is a big Hispanic community, very small, 20,000 people. Imagine like, an MLS club coming to your small town and it's right there in your community. And that's what this USL team was like for them. So they loved us, and they would come to every game, be like, "We saw your podcast episode. We want more," kind of thing. And so, yeah, it was a good transition for me. Last year, got married, couldn't do long distance again too, so I came back with the wife, played with the Independence. That year was cool. It was a good experience with League One. It's definitely a younger league. Personally, I decided to just take my chances, kind of thing too. Couldn't leave Charlotte. Wanted to settle down here, but also I've never really had the time to push my company full force. So that's where we are here. I'm sure we're gonna dive into all these things some more too. I know we are, but yeah, good journey.
100%. Thank you for sharing that, Hugh. I mean, again, I'm truly inspired by, everything that you've done, all your success on and off the field, and everything that you're pushing forward now. So we're gonna dive into it. You played, professional football, professional soccer in the United States for about a decade plus. And then obviously, starting from the early 20s to late 20s, obviously totally different experience. Could you just kind of like recap of how it was back in like when you were younger to now, fast forward to late 20s, and you were talking about connecting with the mayor, which is not something usually a lot of players get the opportunity to do and build that relationship out. So can you share, what it was kind of looking at? What was professional soccer like when you were younger versus when you were a bit older?
Yeah, so back then, honestly, the only way to go professional when we were younger was just to make it to the MLS. So my goal, and that's what fueled me the whole time, was get to the MLS. There was no USL around. MLS didn't even get founded till I think '95, and I was already 3 years old, kind of thing. And from me and my background, I was just like it's called MSI, which is like Montgomery County Soccer from Maryland, but it's really just like a YMCA league, not anything special, not like Barcelona's academy or anything. My dad's Jamaican, I'm half Jamaican, so he really didn't know anything in the Maryland area. He linked up with the coworker that was Hispanic. They formed their own team filled with Hispanics, myself, white kids, all kind of things. I love that team. I played with them for like probably to like fifth, sixth grade kind of thing. So I didn't even do club for a while. I was a late bloomer. So, but like I said, it was still, I went to MLS camp, summer camps, but it was still just make it to the MLS. There was no academies either. So it wasn't like, you're playing for these big academies, going to big tournaments. The big tournaments for us was Disney Showcase in Florida. That was the big one. Went to Disney my freshman year. Um, you had to play on the club teams though to go to big tournaments like Disney. To play in the state cup, state cups was key. So another big thing was ODP. So in order to make it to the national teams, the youth national teams, you had to follow the steps, which is basically like you play on the club team. Good chances if you win state cup, everybody gets a chance in the Maryland area to try out for the state ODP team. So I tried out for the Maryland ODP team. I had a different pathway. I actually played basketball as well too, so it conflicted with my schedule. It was the winter time. Still tried out. I actually got cut on the very last trial. On the very last day, you had like 4 cuts. I made it to the last one. Got cut on the last day. If you live and you learn though too. If I would have known that was the only pathway, I probably would have took it a little more serious. But at the time, I was just focused on basketball a little too. But in order to make it to the youth national teams, you make your ODP team. Then after you make the Maryland one, you make the regional team, which is like, 4 different regions of the country. We were Northeast, Region 1. You make your regional team. And if you're good on the regional team, then you make the national team. And Joe Zhao was the big one in our area. Played with Dortmund, US U17. Actually made it to the first team too. He's a 92 like me. So growing up, everyone in our area, young and old, was kind of like following his pathway. His father, Philip Zhao, played for the Howard's men's national team that won the national championship for Howard too. And he was on the men's national team too. So big family coming out in the DMV area. But yeah, that was the main way at the time. And there was no, of course, no social media. DC United games weren't even televised like that. I went to maybe one or two as a childhood, so I really didn't we watch Barclay Premier League, of course, but you didn't even watch MLS soccer at all. And I'm sure people don't watch it now like that, but you still really didn't watch it back then.
And then transitioning to like, late 20s,
Right, right.
what was the experience like, you know, being put in a position to be able to connect with the mayor and build that relationship and be more involved in the community?
Yeah, man. It's funny, when you just follow your passion, how things work out. I never, like I said, envisioned being in that path. Late 20s now, gonna touch on that. Even when I first started doing the USL, right? Still go to college, turn pro, go to college, turn pro. If you don't make it pro, you come down to the USL, develop your way back to the MLS. After 2016, when the New York Red Bulls won the USL Championship, all of a sudden, a lot of kids stopped going to college and they signed USL Pro contracts. So even to this day, after the CBA got formed in 2019, that's increased tremendously because now you have a minimum wage, now you have benefits. Now you're on ESPN Plus every game. So now there's a whole wave of kids that's been happening for the last 5, 6 years. Teenagers, young college kids dropping out of college early because they're going to USL. That's the difference right now. And of course, you got social media. Of course, you put the clips together. Those clips will get you a trial with the USL club for sure. There's almost a very good chance every college kid will at least have an opportunity with some USL League One or championship team now at this point. And that's how big this league is. And they're going to continuously grow like that. So I've seen this wave of new teenagers foregoing that. And then for me personally, man, I would, just you got to be humble for sure, and definitely, a steward in your craft. I study my craft, study myself, make sure I was doing better each and every year. But being humble in a sense where I never knew I'd be in this position, but just obeying the coaches, listening. Of course, I was angry and frustrated, but not talking bad behind people. Put you in certain situations where they wanted me to represent them. Like you see what I am, dreadlocked up black man, and I'm in Monterey, California. For those who don't know California, it's like it's beautiful out there, but predominantly white Hispanic as well too. And here they are having me represent them at these high real estate meetings and town hall meetings, and the mayor as well too. So yeah, it was important for me, man, and just a big blessing as well too.
That's amazing. I mean, you carry yourself very well. So, I mean, I didn't know you back in that time and how you got the opportunity. But again, I mean, meeting you now, you're very buttoned up, sharp. So that's amazing.
I
And
appreciate that.
again, I think, kudos, to the people that gave you that, blessed you with the opportunity as well, and you took it. So that's amazing. Um, you touched on it a little bit. I want to really like highlight talking about where soccer is right now in America, 2025. There's a lot more opportunity now than from the time that you were growing up trying to go pro. We got the MLS,
Yeah.
you got USL Championship, USL One, MLS Next Pro, NISA, and all those leagues are continuing to expand, especially on the USL side. They're moving really fast with launching new projects in new cities. Um, with saying that, you'd mentioned younger players going pro, dropping out of college, and just wanting to go pro in USL. What advice would you give to the next generation of soccer players that want to go pro in America?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I battle with this even with pros now, because we still give advice to the youth. I'm not gonna lie to you though, college is still a good option, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, kids are getting offered contracts, even League One. They have their own academies now, so the academy kids are getting offered League One contract. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to weigh the options. I'll give you an example. Academy kid here called Isaac Shear, who's not playing for West Virginia. He got offered a pro contract senior year of high school, but he talked to me and some other people, and we're like, listen, like League One is cool, but you have a potential to go to a high D1 school, do your thing in the NCAA tournament, potentially get drafted, go to the MLS, or even if you're just on trial, even if you don't make it, you're gonna get signed with the USL Championship team at least because you went to the MLS experience, did all that. Whereas if you had started League One, yes, you so the thing with League One for me personally, I would advise them if the coach is telling you you're gonna play, if you're already starting as an academy kid, because academy kids can play in the USL Championship and League One already. If you're already playing and you pretty much know you're gonna be starting, take this contract. I won't lie to you, it's better to play as a teenager, develop. You're playing 10 to 11 months in the year, training every day. You're gonna listen from pros. That's how you're really gonna develop, just like the rest of the world. That's when the coaches are liking you and you're favoring you to tell you your trajectory. Like, yes, we see you in the next 3 or 4 years. Start this year, you're playing X amount of games. Next year, you're starting whatever, starting guaranteed money. All right, cool. But otherwise, I would advise a college route because there's still a lot of kids being found through college. And because of social media, you don't have to be at a high D1 school. You look at the draft class last year, a lot of mid-major kids, and I was actually paying attention to that myself. High Points, Coastal Carolinas, Wilmingtons. Like when I was growing up, those mid majors were. I went to George Mason mid major. We won the A10 championship and went to the NCAA tournament. None of us got, and we were the top 13 recruiting class coming in too as a freshman. None of those boys got looked at, including myself, and that's why we had to go on open trials as well too. We went to Florida for a combine too. But um, it's interesting where you look at players like Patrick from Charlotte FC. I don't want to butcher his last name. Ag Agmong or something like that. Patrick, my guy though, he went to a D3 school, transferred to D2, transferred to D1, and got drafted from there with Charlotte FC too. So you really never know. So I still rate college because of social media and everything. You'll at least get a trial somewhere if you put up some good clips, have some good years. You're gonna get an opportunity, and it's still good to at least go to a school, get a chance to at least an MLS team, and if not, you still got a fallback option with like the USL Championship or League One.
Absolutely. No, that's great advice, Hugh. Um, with saying that, I want to highlight some history on your side. Uh, you recently concluded your 11th professional season as the all-time minute leader in USL Championship history. Looking back, what has sustained your drive and consistency over such a long career? I mean, that's not something easy to do, and it's not something that I mean, you're the first, so it would be great to hear.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I will say definitely in the beginning, first off, never would have imagined I was really just trying to play. Really, a lot of fuel to my fire, man. I really, because I was a striker my whole life and center back was never natural to me. Really had to study this game every day. And I'm not gonna lie to you, because it wasn't natural, I wasn't the best at it. I was always athletic, but wasn't the most technical to start, to be honest. I didn't even a lot of my learning was as a pro, which is just so funny how all these things worked. And the coaches were just, especially Lee Cal, Sean Richmond, he gave me an opportunity. I'm very thankful for that. And I just learned and studied myself too. But I really wanted to get to the MLS for those first 3 or 4 years. First, my whole life, turn pro and everything, and still get to the MLS. After I kind of achieved that with Philly, it was still more to prove to people that I was the best center back in the league, best first team. Wanted to help Pittsburgh go to playoffs. Each club I played for, win a championship. I never got an opportunity to make it to the finals, which was unfortunate as well. But those things kind of fueled me each and every year. I never wanted to get injured because I never wanted not saying anything, but I never wanted someone to come take my spot. But I never, I represent my family as well too. I do have a family now too, married as well. But even before then, I was like, I represent my parents, representing my future family as well too. Like, I don't want to ever be jeopardized as an injury prone player for my future contracts as well. Like, I always wanted to be a sustainable guy and a dependable, reliable guy throughout my career. So, and I'm not gonna lie, diehard competitor. So even if I've had a lot of injuries where it would have kept a lot of guys out, probably even like fractured my ankle kind of thing, should have been over 2 months, but taped it up 10 days because I didn't want to give up my opportunity to start. I didn't want, to sit on the bench and all of a sudden we forget about Hugh and those things. Like, nah, you know what? Let's suck this up and we gotta play. So yeah, man, a lot of fuel to what I wanted to do.
Amazing. I want to switch gears here. So, going from your playing career to, creating backyard footy, right? It's not actually, I want to touch on before we dive into that. I mean, it's part of it too, but I want to dive into transitioning. It's not easy mentally for players to transition from a professional career into their next pathway in life, their next journey in life, whether that's a career or founding their own company. So for you, how are you able to transition and how are you able to do it successfully? Because not a lot of people could do it, right? Especially the mental toll that it takes after, not, you were a professional footballer and now you're not no more.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's a great question too, man. It's tough, still tough. Um, but you have to find some kind of peace and you have to look back. See, I never had the opportunity to just stop and look back and reflect. Now I do. So before my whole career, yes, I made first team. Yes, even when I was all league, even when I made all league and then they announced the articles, whatever, I was kind of just like, cool, I appreciate it. Like, get to work. And like, I never had a time to just step back and be like, like Hugh, like you just achieved something so great. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to make sure, oh, someone can take my spot next year. I got to play the rest of the games. Like, oh, I got to make playoffs. Oh, I'm captain of this team. If we don't make playoffs, all the fans are gonna hate me. Like, I'm just distracted and focused on not focused on the accomplishments that I did. You know what I mean? So now that I was finished, and just had the time to think, I found peace in being like, Hugh, like you just accomplished something that like 1% of athletes, maybe less than that, have ever had the opportunity to be like the all-time minutes leader, and you never thought about that at all. You just wanted to play this game of soccer. You know what I mean? You never had the opportunity to go to California. Side note, the first big racial moment in USL's history happened when I was there, and I'm the founder of the United Black Players Association. So this is how I know everything in life was ordained, because what are the odds that the founder of the United Black Players Association for the USL is here and captain of the team for the inaugural year, and a big racial moment happened where another player on the other team called one of my players a monkey. And now here I am defending him and dealing with this. You feel me? So it's just crazy. And I had time to reflect and be like, everything happened for a reason. I'm cool. I'm also just tired of the little BS of dealing with the contracts, other players coming in, not even other players coming in, other players, other coaches saying like, oh, you're not good enough anymore. You're too old, this and that. You know who you are. You know your worth as well too. And I was very fortunate to found my company while I was playing. So it's giving me more fuel to be like, I've never had the opportunity to just sit back and focus on my company 100%. So I'm actually excited and enjoy like, I know 9 to 5 life. I'm not even in a 9 to 5 life myself. I'm just coaching, doing my own thing, and controlling my own schedule. But just to have the freedom to do that, life right now, I'm enjoying it. It's almost like a chip off my shoulder kind of thing too. But you have to also get to that point as well to feel satisfied. I was, ne- I remember talking to even people. I was never satisfied 1 year in my career, maybe until like the last 6 months last year, where I was finally just like, you know what? I'm just happy to be in Charlotte. I don't really care what happens. Let me just enjoy this. But never, not I'm gonna tell, not a single year I was actually satisfied, man. And that's not something I'm actually proud of as well too, because I wish I just appreciated some more things. But those are the things that kind of fueled me.
Yeah. Well, you could still look back and soak it up, man, and just enjoy it.
Right,
One
right.
one thing I've been doing recently is um, I have little moments where like I'll reflect on a achievement, or yeah, on an achievement, something that went really well. I'll really just soak it in that moment, or if it's not too far off, maybe it's a few weeks or a month max, and really just
Yeah,
celebrate it. It feels good, and then I'm back to work mode, because I used to be like that. I would say just recently last year, for so long, never being satisfied. But honestly, celebrating those wins, it's good.
yep,
For me, I
yep,
not to stay there too long. Just a day thing. Enjoy it,
yep,
move on, keep pushing. So
yep. It's
I
important to enjoy those things, man. Like it gives you a peace of mind during those times. Otherwise, you're feel like a bottle that's tensed up the whole time. You know what I mean? Like breathe, relax. It's cool. Gives you a calm aura. You know what I mean? And just changes your energy a little too. And so you live and you learn and kind of grow with those things. And it's definitely so it's good to hear you're kind of doing those things already.
1,000%. Get some good food,
Right,
nice
right.
walk, go to the beach, go to the spa,
Exactly.
something nice.
And I did those things in Monterey. Monterey has 20 beaches within like 10 miles apart. And I have a Doberman dog, so we used to go on bike rides and everything, man. Like, but even during those times, bro, like I had my music on by myself, chilling peacefully, and I had peace. But I was still in the back of my mind, just like thinking about the next day and how I'm gonna get so and so back in practice, like how I'm gonna be better in practice, how I'm gonna do this, like those are the things that are on my mind constantly. And of course, that's what fuel me to this day. But yeah, you really, like you just said, you got to find those moments as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I really enjoy these conversations, these organic conversations. I always keep it to soccer, but I want to just tap in a little bit. I feel like we have that connection where I can do this with you. Um, this is my first time ever asking this question, but I think it's extremely important because it's not easy to do, and you've done it successfully. How are you able to balance your relationship, especially long distance, right, with the person that you're with, and still be able to focus on your career and be successful on the field as well as in your relationship? Because not a lot of people or individuals can do that,
Yeah.
and they sometimes don't come out. So how are you able to do it as well as and then transition to marriage?
Yeah, like you said, it's not easy. This journey is a single man's journey for sure. I've lived in 5 different cities. A lot of people aren't committed to go travel with you. And I met her probably halfway through my career, 6 years in. So the first 6 years, I'm traveling different cities. You meet people, you lose people kind of thing. You kind of, you kind of just I wouldn't say like build up a wall, but it's something where you have to have like temporary, relationships and friendships. And I'm not saying move on from there, but you kind of have to understand that you have a job to do. So it's not, you don't want to have too many feelings kind of thing because you can't. You have to know that you have a job to do. That's how committed you have to be in this journey kind of thing. Then I find her, but I also had to switch my mindset. And that's the most important thing. I will be honest, because before then I was not ready at all to be settled down, was just trying to do my thing. But still, until I came to Charlotte, I was like, I want to find my wife. I want to get settled down. I'm ready now. I want to do my thing. Found her within the first month. I moved for preseason. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me just take my time and see where it goes. Took our time for another 6, 7 months. Made it official. You just gotta, and when you know someone who's committed to your journey as well too, is because they have to sign up for this as well. You get a good sense of people to understand them if they're committed to this or not. So even when I was on away trips, no complaints, really just straight supporting. Backyard footy's going on at the same time, so I'm doing Zoom meetings. I'm United Black Players found out I'm doing Zoom. COVID year was crazy. Zoom meetings every week, doing Zoom meetings all the time. She's supportive, not fighting. So I'm like, all right, cool. Those are signs, check marks that like I can keep doing. Also giving me ideas for my company, like, oh, you should do this and this. Even recently, you should do this. I'm like, all right, people, either you listen or you don't, right? And those, sometimes when you listen and you find the right woman, those things, some, I can't tell you some specific ones, but some of those ideas are backyard footy have come from her, and it's actually done very well on social media. So then California happened, and it wasn't a fight, it wasn't really a fuss. It happened within a week too, and those are signs even for me as a man. I'm like, all right, she's doing her role. I also have to put a ring on it. So I flew back from California, surprised her, did like an overnight red eye, got the family together, all that, put the ring on it, secured her. So let her know that I'm committed, you're committed kind of thing. Then we did the 2 years long distance and got married last year, 24 January. But it takes some time and all that. And I was here for 3 years before, but when you kind of find an understanding with somebody too, and they're with that, you know, you can't let that go kind of thing.
I'm taking notes, man, mental notes right now. So that's I that's solid, man.
I appreciate you.
So just transitioning back to backyard footy, why did you create this platform?
Yeah, man. So I'm literally it's 2017, the year before I started Backyard Footy. I'm watching ESPN. We all watch ESPN, and I'm seeing these guys, bro. I'm really watching cornhole on ESPN. These guys talking about everything, little league. Oh, it's cool, good for them, but I never talking about soccer. So I was like, how can I do something? USL, we get no money, but I wanted to do something where I could talk about it. And podcasts were kind of getting hot at the time, just starting up. It's like, why don't I start a podcast? I know one person on every single team on the East Coast, because back then you don't play East and West, it's just straight East Coast. When they come in town, this is now in Pittsburgh. When they come in town, I'll pick them up and bring them to my couch and we just interview. So I went to Best Buy, got a little mic, put it in the middle of us, had my Mac laptop already, which had GarageBand, and that's literally how I got started. No videos, just a couple pictures, but it was a straight audio. And then I moved to Charlotte and I was like, all right, well, found a videographer. Let me start showing visuals now, game day, practices. But it was always my mindset in the beginning was like to talk about soccer, to educate people on our journeys. The journey thing was the big aspect in the beginning because people don't understand, especially the USL grinds, the UPSL grind, League One grind, like it's different from the MLS. So to tap in with the community, that's what people were really liking it because I was, tapping in with these USL players. So fast forward to 19, I met a videographer. Now showing the videos now of us talking. I'm showing game day clips. I'm like, all right, cool. COVID happened. So after COVID, I still kind of did the same thing as well, though. All 3 years actually did the same thing, the same videographer, pictures, videos. And then I get to California, and that's what really just took off backyard footy because now the San Jose Earthquakes videographer who was then for free with me had no contact, was making a name for himself. We did a bunch of good works together, a bunch of interviews, a bunch of podcasts. I'm also the captain. I'm also doing the same journeys now, connecting with the Hispanic community that loves soccer, that's now meeting us in person, giving us handshakes, saying how much they hear our stories. And like Walmart Martinez's story, still to the day, is probably my most trending video, but he taps into how like depressed he was dealing with the national team, dealing with the criticism, how he journaled to release his pain, and it elevated everything. Man, like tears in the eyes kind of episode. So those little moments and those things just had me keep going. It definitely was tough, man. Like why am I still doing this? I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this by myself, still doing this by myself. Every creativity you see on the page has been me by myself thinking of these ideas, besides like a videographer recording it for me. Even the videographer, I'm telling them what to look for in the games, all those clips. I'm like, yo, like, listen, I'll give you an example. Our early clips, we were just showing the typical goal someone scored. I went up to him the year after, like, listen, to separate ourselves, this is what we should do. I know it's hard, but 10 seconds before you score a goal, can you get the build-up play before to get some passes in, then the goal? We did that this 2023 year, man. It was so sick, the slow-mo videos and all that. So those things was like, all right, cool. I gotta keep doing those things more. I gotta, even if it's costing me out of my own pocket, like things are worth it now. To the point now, I have the full time and freedom to. I'm actually partnering with the team for TST, gonna do the full week's coverage for them. Last year, I was there as a player by myself. I drove 2 hours from Charlotte to Raleigh twice, and I got a media pass, thankfully. But I was there by myself on my phone recording. But I saw how good the traction was, just me, marketing wise, how big of a soccer community it was. So now that I was partnering with the full team, I wanted to do that last year as my goals, and now thankfully I am this year too with Drip FC. So I'm gonna have behind the scenes access and to be able to record them with the company and ideally, long term wise, want to be a full fledged entertainment company. Reach out to clubs like, yo, listen, we can do the storytelling for you. We also do documentaries. We did Monterey Bay's first inaugural year documentary. So I want to be a yo, because social media is important. You know how that is too, but no one really knows the aspect from the players as well as the player too. So that's where I kind of separate myself from other companies because I've been an athlete. I know what people want to hear, what they want to talk about. So yeah, man, I want to gonna keep that going for a while now. We have our own foundation, charity foundation too. That was founded during COVID. We give food to the homeless, starting that up too. We give food to minority communities in Seaside, California as well too. Did that the last 3 years. So gonna get that back going again this year too, man. So full-fledged company, man, doing our thing out there.
That's amazing. I keep hearing about non-for-profits, a lot recently. You know, like you recently spoke to Channing,
Yep.
doing a non-for-profit. Let's talk about the non-for-profit. Why did you start
Yep.
it? How did you start it? And where is it at now?
Yeah, that's a good question. So boom, I have my company, of course, back there for 2 years before COVID. COVID happens. COVID for me hit me differently because I'm from the north and now I'm living in Charlotte. And of course, it's George Floyd's movement, but Ahmaud Arbery, I don't know if you remember it, you guys remember him, but Ahmaud Arbery was jogging through the neighborhoods and he got killed by some guys, or he got beat up by some guys, or killed, sorry, rest in peace, by some guys who were following him through the neighborhood in the South. And I'm COVID time. I'm in South Carolina, my girl's place. I don't know these neighborhoods. Now I'm running with one headphone out because I'm paranoid, checking my shoulder every second. So some guy, a videographer, reached out to me like, "Yo, Hugh, like, do you want to speak on this video on what's like how it's impacting you?" I was like, "You know what? Let's do this." So we actually did it. It's on the very first video on my Instagram page. I ran through the city, did a whole speech and a message, put my fist up. Because again, I'm also the founder of the United Black Players Association. Also created United Against Racism campaign with the USL headquarters. So now I'm doing on the field. It's of course every club didn't support it. They didn't want any displays or anything. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I'm gonna get to why. But of course, here I am. I was raising my fist during again. I did it for the rest of my 5 years from COVID on. Still did it to this day in national anthem. So to rewind now during COVID, that hit me. So a guy reached out to me like, "Do you want to create T-shirts now, Black Lives Matter T-shirts to raise money for charity?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure." Got the club to support it. We took some team pictures, raised like $500 to $1,000, and then fans started reaching out to me and like, "Hey Hugh, we want to donate, regular money, not just buy the T-shirt." So I created a GoFundMe, raised $3,000, gave it to Block Love, who I'm partnered with now, who gives homeless food to the homeless 3 times a week, and two other soccer foundations in Charlotte. But because of who I am, a God-fearing man, I just it would have weighed on my heart, but I can't be someone who just quit on the homeless, to quit on giving back to charity. So from then on, I was like, I got to keep this going. Who am I to stop doing this? So COVID year, that's how I raised money. In 2021, every goal that I scored, every shutout, every win, it was like $20, $10, $10 had fans match me. Raised like $3,000 to $5,000. 2021, gave all that food to the homeless, and also did winter clothes drops. So when I went to Walmart, spent like $1,000 to $2,000, bought a bunch of clothes and gave it out to the homeless as well here in Charlotte. Um, and then in California, this company reached out to me because I'm still doing the same things, and they're like, hey, we can give because I'm actually a nonprofit, which now legally companies can give me money and it's like a tax write-off. So a lawyer here in Charlotte reached out to me like, hey, I can help file for this. You file this for you legally, no cost. Just give me a shout out on socials. Thank God he blessed me. So now I'm here in California. This woman's like, hey, my company is looking for a nonprofit like yourself. We can give you money because again, it's a write-off. So I'm like, okay, gave me some good money. Now I'm doing charity foundations in California and in Charlotte still to this day, even though I was in California, still did it in Charlotte. Doing it in both states now. And then last year did it again, gave me some money again, flew out there. And then last year, like I said, I flew out there. We played Fuego, even though I was with Independence, played Fuego. I drove all the way from Fuego to Monterey, did a charity foundation again. But again, it's who I am and I see the impact. I see how much it helps the community. I see how important it is and inspiring it is for them as well. You know, if I can put a smile on their face and help them keep going one more day, they've also helped me out, giving me words of wisdom. Like you never know who you can hear and learn from as well too. Like I said, I'm a humble enough person to listen to everybody. So I'm probably gonna keep that going for the rest of my life. I want that to grow where it can be its own company within itself. Have some people within my board to run that. But yeah, man, that's how I got started, and that's how I'm gonna keep it going too.
Nice. What are your goals for backyard footy?
Few, let's say 10, 15-year goals. You know, I would love to have like a headquarters, love to have an indoor facility as well too. But honestly, I want it to be like a full-fledged company where I'm partnered with, let's say, Charlotte FC, Charlotte Independence, couple championship teams, doing media for them full time for the full season. That includes documentaries, podcast, everything I've been doing, but control the narratives, help players out. That's tier one. Tier two, would be like showing game day visuals. We pull up to a rivalry game, Charlotte Independence versus NCFC, do like a highlight reel of that too. People want to see behind the scenes and also day in the lives. Just everything focused on the players, run from a player, but ran for these now sports teams that are highlighting this from a media standpoint. Apple TV signed that one with MLS. I wouldn't say like that to the extent, but my company is not partnered with. I ideally would love every club, but certain clubs within a market where I'm now pushing and helping your media grow. Still keeping the foundation going and also building the next generation. That's why I want to have a headquarters because one big thing that I realize now that's lacking is an opportunity for athletes when we retire and transition. I've been applying. I got my MBA and my master's, thank God, through Belleville University, that's sponsored with the USL, got a free full scholarship, just finished in November. I've been applying for jobs since November. I just got my first interview next Thursday. But my first one, you feel me, in however long, it's been a long time. So can we create better pathways because we do our career and we love our passion, but to the corporate world, we don't have any experience. How can we get internships while we're playing as well too? How can we do certain things? So I want to build a headquarters where it's like, hey, you can be a coach with me. I'm a whole business. So marketing, whatever you're gonna do, help my company do marketing, help my company do sales, help my company do finance, because we gotta handle the books, help my company do content creation. I need all my roles. So maybe I partner with the USL or other leagues and be like, hey, when athletes transition, give them my card, have them reach out to me, hit me up, and I have a job for you, or someone I know will have a job for you, get you going, get you on your feet. And then if you want to leave, you can leave to wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I like that. We got to talk about some stuff online, man, because in regards to the media stuff, like I lead OSN stuff, I do majority of the work. I mean, besides we got some co-hosts now, but we got to talk about some media stuff online.
We do. We
We want
do.
to transition to in person, which you've already done. So, and we have
Mm.
some potential sponsors, cooked up with some architects. They want to get us on the ground with the stuff that they're doing. We have relationships there, so we got to talk about some stuff, man, and team up.
Man, I feel like our timing and energy align for this perfect reason, man. Yes, please, man. That's why I feel like this timing is good. All about that. We will.
Yes, sir. All right. So you had mentioned that you're a co-founder of another organization. It was the USL something.
United Black Players Association.
Yeah. So
BPA.
USL BPA.
UB, yeah,
Black
BPA.
player.
Black. Yep.
Okay. So why did you who did you found it with and why did you guys found that company?
Co-founded with Brandon Miller, who was a teammate with me here at Charlotte Independence at the time. And it's funny, man, because all that got started through Backyard Footy, my podcast, bro. And it's again why I tell people to just follow your passion because We never envisioned this. I never envisioned this. Again, I'm just sitting on my couch watching ESPN. COVID happens, George Floyd movement happens. I'm like, again, it's the beauty of having my own podcast because I can do whatever I want to do. And so I was like, instead of doing the same story episodes, why don't I get 5 to 10 guys within the USL and MLS that I know, black players? We all get on a round table on Zoom and we talk about our struggles. So I had 2 editions. Black Lives Matter one was a hit. People were like, we want a second edition. So I invited some more players, and I'll give you a quick story. After the second one, I had Fatai from FC Cincinnati join my show. One of my homies put me on. He shares a story where FC Cincinnati puts a post on social media, hey, we stand up against racism. We support all our black and brown players. They after they play a game, that same player Fatai gets racial monkey issues in his inbox, racial DMs. So he's on my podcast now. It's like, how can this club say they support their players when I'm still getting these racial messages? Boom, they hear my fans hear my podcast, that gets back to the sporting director and GM. Within a day or two, they tweet, we are now, because of Fatai's episode, we are now donating $250,000 to local black charity communities because of that episode, bro. Crazy. Still probably one of my biggest achievements. And I didn't, you know what I mean? So fast forward, NBA locks down. MLS is like, we were in contact with MLS. We're about to do our, MLS Black Players Coalition. So me and Brandon were like, we have to capitalize on this moment. This was right after the second edition of the podcast. We were just texting in a group chat. We got to do the same thing, same week as these guys. Brandon's 2 years older than me. So me and him were talking, texting almost every day. This is on a Wednesday. We knew that the games were happening Friday, Saturday. So within 48 hours, we created our United Against Black Players Association, the logo, the slogan. We were in contact every day, every 2 hours with the USL headquarters because we wanted a message to be displayed across all the TVs on ESPN Plus, what we stood for. We got every single player in the whole league to kneel at I think correct me if I'm wrong, however long that he was, held in the chokehold for, I believe it was the 60 seconds. So in the 60th minute, every player, every game stopped in the whole USL. Every player took a kneel every single game. We coordinated that. Everything, man, within 48 hours. And so from then on, we were like, we want to represent black and brown players. At that time, we had like 100 players, 100 memberships, formed a board, formed different guys handling media, formed the accounts. And we've been strong ever since. I would say now, me and Brandon are like executive members since, currently we're not on the field anymore, but we still have guys who are currently playing Akeem Ward, Duke Lacroix, veteran black players. But if it gets, so now we're in a position where if anything happens on the field, racial moments, slurs, anything, we talk about that. We handle that. We're basically parallel to the players union. We're still in conjunction with the players union. If something happens to them, they become aware of it. They also phone us and we get on, Zoom calls kind of thing too. So we've actually we're in, one of the reasons why Chris Boosie got to the headquarters in the USL. Rewind when I talked about that racial moment when I was there with Monterey. I flew down to Tampa, talked to the whole headquarters, talked to the president, and was like, listen, I wish I didn't have to handle that myself. We got to do these things better, yada, yada. And they brought in Chris and created a DEI position and a role for him as well, too. And like I said, man, you just never know. That's why you just keep doing certain things. I know, it's exhausting to follow your passion and keep coming up with ideas, do certain things, but you never know what can happen at the end of the day. And a lot of these things happen just because I decided to do a podcast, man. It's still crazy to me.
Amazing. Bro, powerful stuff. Like I haven't gone there yet, but man, you're getting me like excited, man, because
You're getting there.
to react within like 48 hours and execute on it, man, is not easy. So again, truly inspired. Brandon Miller, that name sounds familiar. Did he go to Harvard?
He went to UNCW, Wilmington.
Brandon
He was
Miller.
a goalkeeper, big
Yes.
puffy afro. Yes.
Good beard.
You probably seen it. Yeah, big
I've
beard.
had him
Yep.
on the podcast. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I knew the
Legend in
name
the
sounded
game.
familiar. No, that's cool. Full circle, man. Small world.
Full
Small.
circle. Small world.
We gotta. There's a lot of stuff we gotta talk offline about, man. All right, cool.
Yeah, man.
So I want to circle back to TST, right? So you mentioned growing your audience engagement by over 900% during events like the TST tournament. What strategies or insights to help you connect with fans on that level?
So For me personally, I like to read, the trends, the algorithms, the numbers is why I became a business analyst, to look at the business account, my Instagram, see what's hitting, see what's not, see what posts people like. So this is my first time at TSC. TSC's only been around for 3 years as well, too. So, and mind you, I don't have a crew now. It's just me. I have my GoPro and I have my phone. My wife is with me. My wife is the one. Shout out her because she's my videographer, photographer. She everything at the time. So I have her sometimes record behind me. But I'm realizing like what I used to do is record a couple of videos, go on my laptop, chop it up, Final Cut, do something fancy, post it. Like people love those things, but people really love the live moments and the live reactions. I remember one time I just stood behind the goal, put it on my phone, posted it immediately. And before I never posted things immediately. I record like we're doing now, take my time, edit, and maybe a day or two, a week max comes out. Now at TST, because it's happening so fast, so many games, I was like, you know what? Let me just pull my phone up, record this PK, posted it. Man, the views is hitting, like you just said, 900,000 engagement, 900,000 increased viewership, hitting 20,000 accounts within 4 days across the country. And I was like, okay. I see this live reaction. So from then on, again, our interviews was not live. This is the first time doing live interviews now. So I had media access. So I'm going up to players now that I know, because it's like a soccer reunion at TST. Oh, Hugh, you here? Media? Yeah, let me hop on. I had all the reggae boys. I'm have Jamaica, all my reggae boys on it. The champions, Bocaneros who won it, Bocanegros who won it. I went up to them, some Spanish players. I talked to them because I had access. So now I realized, and then the views were going up 2 to 3 times better than I've ever done before that previously. And normally it would take time for me to hit those numbers, and it happened within 24 hours. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me keep going with the live aspect. So TST was a great experience, but it was just a lot managing that myself. Even then, I was like, I can't wait to just be with the team so I can focus on the team and do these things. I'm figuring out all these things on the fly. Oh, there's a game on this field. Kind of run over with all my gear by myself. Game on this field. The championship game, right? I put my GoPro on one side of the goal. I actually knew the assistant coach on non-EFC. So he's like, yo, Hugh, you can come on the bench. So I left the GoPro on the one side of the field, run back. I'm catching non-EFC bench and everything. Great reaction. I was like, oh man, I gotta go get my GoPro. I gotta get some goals. So as I'm running back, I'm running through the crowd. I look and they score a goal, and I was like, it was a cool moment with all the fans are cheering like this. I pull out my phone, record that whole thing from behind the fans. Man, I think it has like 3, 4 thousand views now, but it had a lot of likes. People really engaged. And engagement is different than views as well, too. And people really engaged on that. So I was like, all right, cool. Because I knew that championship game winning goal, I was right there, right in front of that guy. And I was the only one that had that view because I was on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Posted that within 20 minutes because people are waiting. People around the country are watching TSD, of course, on ESPN, but people want the social media aspect. So people are almost like waiting for the goal, waiting for you to post immediately. And that's what it taught me too. So I'm very excited to have access with the full team behind the scenes. Of course, is my thing, but to just be able to interview players right after the game, just control whatever I want to do, highlight, more behind the scenes, what's really going on in TST, because you see it, everyone sees it. But that's why we're gonna do our thing from a company standpoint, because you're gonna watch on ESPN, you're gonna see every team post a typical trainings, this and that. But I'm gonna come from the players aspect, rehab, interview players 1v1, and interviews. So I probably even join training, see me put my strap up the GoPro, see what training is like. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I love. When you follow your own brand, you can do what you want to do, and you're controlling it and control what you want to control in the narrative. So yeah, man, I have a lot of experience from that last year that I'm bringing with myself this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I wanted to go last year, but didn't get the chance to. Well, I will soon, so I'll definitely.
Yeah, you got to. It's a big reunion, bro. You know people that you don't even haven't seen since your childhood there, and like, man, I couldn't stop talking to people. And I'm a media person too. It was a lot, but it's all good experience.
That's amazing. All right, so Hugh, you got a lot of things going on. In regards to management, what advice could you give myself and others that are, that want to get to your point in regards to managing multiple companies, um, and managing multiple tasks that you have to deal with? What advice do you have to give?
Yeah, I would say scheduling and time management is important. Like, I really had to get serious about putting things in my calendar, writing things down in my notes. You have to remind yourself, like, obviously, we all have ideas, we all have things we want to do, but if you're very serious about that, you got to follow up with your calls. You meet certain people, yo, I'm gonna hit you up, I'm gonna call you. be a man of your word and like actually put it in your notes, like how to use my notes seriously. Like, all right, call so and so within a week, email so and so back. It's if you can have a team, it's even better. But I would be careful because there's a big saying, too many cooks in the pot can spoil it as well too. That's why I'm taking my time, even building my partners. But when you find the right people who are on the same mindset as you, same energy, two is greater than one. Two heads, can conquer the world. Three can help you out. So like those things are real. And when you find the right ones, definitely. So if you have a good 3 or 4 solid crew, rock with that. Delegation is important because you can't do everything yourself. I'm even overwhelmed with a lot of that. So if you want to focus on content specifically, that's your niche. Focus on that. If you trust when so and so to handle the post of social media, like they want to do that, trust them as well too. But delegation can help you focus when you have your team on certain tasks as well. But if you don't have any of that, that's fine. Like myself, I don't have any of that. Got serious with writing down things in my schedule. Got serious with writing down my notes, my goals, what I wanted to see within 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, even short term, 4 weeks, 3 weeks kind of thing. Who are your quote unquote rivals, right? See what they're hitting on certain things on their aspect. Who how can you separate yourself? And that's always been my thing. I don't like following certain people. I like just doing my certain. And if someone does what I'm doing, I start to even do something different because I don't even like doing something that I feel like someone else. So continuously separating yourself, continuously, and that comes with more ideas. Keep thinking about your thing, even reviewing your prior work, seeing what you did, seeing what you hit, seeing what you didn't hit with, can help you, forward thinking wise too. Um, but yeah, it's important, man, to balance your time with a lot of things because you can get overwhelmed, especially being consumed with our industry, focus on content, media, certain things. So if you can balance your time where podcast show here, rest here. I still hit the gym all the time. I still exercise, going on walks, jogs is important for the mind and the mental too, because you want to make sure that's right. It gives you more creativity in your flow. But definitely in terms of management, man, managing your time, managing these are like your babies and your child. You gotta invest a lot into it too. And you gotta invest your own money and do a lot of things for free is what I learned. I still do a lot of things for free as well too. One of my best advice, everyone wants money, yes, but the money will come. Build the relationship, build the connections, do the little things for free. Even if you gotta travel somewhere expensive, videographer, whatever yourself, it'll be worth it in the long run. I'm still all my expenses for 7 years has been myself, besides my charity foundations. Everything else has been myself. And it's been worth it every single time where I'm hoping, and I know down the road I'll meet the right partners to invest, sponsor, and all those things too.
1,000%. Hugh, thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I want to be respectful of your time. Just quickly, some quick fun
Yep.
questions. We'll just do rapid fire. So like, don't even think about it.
Gotcha.
Go to answer that comes straight in mind. So I'll I'll head it off right quick. So favorite food,
Jamaican.
favorite favorite
Like brown stew, to be
um,
specific.
yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite music artist, one, only one.
I like Lil Wayne. I grew up on Wheezy, man. I'm just say Wheezy.
Favorite song by Weezy.
Oh man. I can't give you one.
Just one. We
I,
just need
I
one.
like all the mixtapes, man. Um I like all like Demolition Part 1 and 2. That's what I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite movie, all time.
Um all time. I just thought about this. Nah, never back down. Oh man, what's the basketball movie? Um Not Coach Carter, but Glory Road. Glory Road. Sorry, Glory Road and Coach Carter are tied for me. Those two, but I'll say Glory Road. Basketball movie.
Favorite team, favorite pro club that you play for. If you
Played
could answer
for.
that, if you could answer that.
um, I would say 2021. That team that year was one of my favorite teams to
What
play with.
what team was that?
That was with Charlotte Independence
Yeah.
before they went down to League One. But yeah, that team specifically with all the core players that we had was a lot of fun.
What about? Do you have a favorite MLS team?
Right now, I'm still with the hometown Charlotte FC, but growing up it was DC United.
Yeah, okay. We got some guys out there. Um, Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi all day.
On day, eh? Okay, okay. Favorite European league to watch?
La Liga personally, man. I'm a Barcelona fan,
Oh,
and I still love watch. La Liga plays ball still. I love Barclays though. Don't get me wrong. I love the action. I love the intensity, the drama. But I'm just a fan of good ball too. Like I can sit back and watch Sevilla, Real Sociedad, it's Real Betis, my man Isco doing his thing. Like I love good ball like that, man.
nah, their team was wicked when they had like Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets,
That's high school
Messi.
for me too.
Those were good times.
Great time, man. Imagine leaving class early to watch Champions League in the classroom and just screaming down the halls during those prime. And he has to beat Chelsea when we beat Chelsea in that overtime one, man. Yeah. Great memories.
Even MSN was good too, right? That Messi name on.
Mm-hmm. Woo. College for me, bro. Talking big trash.
That's amazing. All right. I think those are it from me on my side. Yeah, I mean those are the ones that were on my head. So no, I
I
mean
like that.
you this was awesome. It was great to just have just open discussion, learn more about you, spend more time with you, and ask some fun questions. So this was great, and to continue building our relationship. So
Yeah, man. Of
thank you so much for taking the time for being on the One Soccer Nation podcast.
course. Appreciate you guys having me.